Welcome, Rebooters, to the 5-day Reboot Challenge. I am so thrilled that you are here with me. I am honored and thankful that you have chosen to spend this block of time with me. And we are gonna get so into kickstarting your momentum by going through the steps that I have laid out for your reboot. Today is day 1 of day 5, and today we are gonna be talking about the very first step in the reboot process, which is awareness. So let's get started. So a few years ago, I found myself with some really important questions in my mind, like where did I go? Not physically where did I go, but where did my dreams go? Where did my connection to knowing what I liked and what I wanted go? Where did my ability to discern my path disappear to? And it was in that moment of awareness that I had really lost sight of what my favorite things were, what I wanted. I could really be specific when it came to telling you about the people I loved, but when it came to answering some pretty deep questions about myself, my thoughts, my beliefs, my dreams, my passions, my purpose, I didn't have those answers. And that's the one thing I should have had, is answers to who I am, right? Because I'm stuck with myself. And so it was that moment of like, wow, I really don't know what my dreams are. So even if I wanted to go after them, wouldn't the first step be to know what they actually are? So today what I'm gonna walk you through is that first step in building awareness. Now, it doesn't mean if you need a reboot that you need a full reboot in all areas of your life. That was very true for me. I needed a reboot in love. I needed a reboot in how to be a better mom, or at least I felt like I did. And again, this is really personal, okay? Everybody could tell you that you're nailing it and doing it right, and I'm sure that you are. But this is about how we feel inside our own skin on our journey, okay? So I didn't feel like I was the best mother that I could be, the best wife that I could be. I didn't feel like my job was as satisfying as it used to be. And so for me, I needed a reboot in a lot of different areas. But for you, it might be that now you've been out of work for a while due to the pandemic, and maybe you're feeling like when it goes back to normal, I need a shift. I wasn't happy. This time of reflection allowed me to realize that I want something more, that I want something different. Or perhaps all this time in your house with your spouse is either really good and you've bonded and had a deeper love, or not so much, and you're like, do I really want to be with this person forever? So you might have a lot of questions, okay? And no matter where you need the reboot, if you need it in one area of your life or in all areas of your life, the tips and tricks that I'm going to give you this week are going to be able to help you navigate and kind of start to unravel those knots that feel so tight, regardless of how little or how much you need to reboot. Okay, so that was step 1, really asking myself some poignant questions about my dreams, because that's where it all starts. And now what I find, and again, as moms, sometimes what happens is when we go too far down that rabbit hole of dreams, when we start to really allow our imaginations to go wild, we feel like ungrateful, or perhaps we feel indulgent, like I can't have those things. I'm too busy right now being a mom and taking care of my family and going to work. But I would like to give you an opportunity right now to really sit with those mindsets and those beliefs and ask yourself, how true is that? Do I not need to model for my children that I can be a dreamer and go after the things that I want most? Is that the lesson that I want? Or do I want the lesson to be that I don't have dreams because I'm a mom and I don't get to have dreams? And I think that that's all wrong. And so we're gonna kind of get to the bottom of those belief systems a little bit more tomorrow, but for today, I wanted to draw your attention to the present moment, to asking yourself what's working and what's not. And then we'll go through the week and talk about how do I deal with that question. If the answer is no, life right now doesn't look exactly the way I want it, then what comes next is what do you do about it? So there are two choices. There are two choices when you realize that things aren't working. And it doesn't matter what area of your life they're not working in, okay? The two choices you have are you can evolve or you can repeat. And I know that doesn't sound like an awful lot of choices, but unfortunately, people, that's where our choices lie. I can evolve and shift and pivot and change and grow, or I can repeat the patterns, repeat the thoughts, repeat the stagnant emotions, repeat, and just keep getting the same outcome over and over again. And now for some of you, maybe that's where you are. Maybe you're thinking, I just don't have the capacity, the emotional strength. I'm just not in a place right now where I can come out of my comfort zone. Because truly, if your choice is evolution over repetition, then you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. You don't have a choice. Because your bigger dreams require more from you. If your bigger dreams only required what you were giving right now, then you would have them right now. You have what you see in your reality right now based on what you're giving. And if you are happy there, then you are already in your reboot. Welcome. Welcome to your passions and your life and your dreams. But if you're not, then you need to really ask yourself, do I want to keep repeating and stay the same? Or do I want to evolve and grow from this point? I want my business to grow. I want my love life with my spouse to grow. I want my connection to my children to grow. I want my benevolence to the world to grow, my impact in the world to grow. That was one of the really important questions for me, is I always thought I was meant to make a difference. I always thought I had a message inside of me that I wanted to share with the world. And the more I locked that message away with the voices in my head telling me that no one wanted to hear it, the more the patterns in my life of negativity and doubt and fear just were on a loop. It was like Groundhog Day. And we all know exactly what Groundhog's Day is because we are living it and have been for weeks now. But I wanted so much more. I wanted to know what life outside of the box I had put myself into looked like. I wanted to know, if I connect to my dreams, can I have them? Can I have them, or have I just been telling myself that I cannot have them? And we do a really good job of telling those we love, our children, especially if you're moms out there or if you're dads, but we do a really good job of telling our kids anything is possible. Dream big, go for it, give it 100%. Nothing can stand in your way. Nothing is impossible. But why is that script not enough for us? Why does that script not apply to ourselves? How can I teach my son and my daughter those principles that I don't live by myself? It doesn't add up. It's a bit of hypocrisy. I too can have what I wish for. I too can evolve and grow and change, and I'm not too old. This idea that if you've kind of exited your 20s without a real lock in on what was supposed to happen, you've lost your window. Man, I didn't do it in my 20s. There aren't many people who do it in their 20s. My 20s was a blur. And my 30s, I became a mom, and I needed a decade to figure out what that means. So now I'm 45, and I'm just starting to allow the possibility of a dream to plant its seed. I write about my life from that moment of awareness in my book, and I tell the story from that moment, because that turning point is when I realized it cannot stay the same. I want more. And I'm not ungrateful for wanting more. I'm not selfish for wanting more. And the best thing that I could do for my children as a mom is to show by example. That is what I did for 13 years as a teacher. You cannot stand up in front of a classroom full of kids and tell them to do something that they know that you're not practicing yourself. You cannot inspire people when you're uninspired. You can't motivate when you're unmotivated. You can't teach if you don't believe that kids have anything to learn. And so I began to dig myself and excavate the joy and the passion inside my heart to find out what things I like, to really be honest with what did I want. One of the things I wanted most was to write a book and be an author. How do you do it? I've never written a book before, so how do you write a book the first time you write a book? But I went on a journey to find out. I asked questions, and the more I acted on that dream each day, no matter how small the step, the more I found myself going after that little nugget, the more that nugget grew, and the more it became clear. Wow, I do want to write a book. What kind of book? Oh, I want to write this kind of book. Should I draw a picture of the cover? Should I name it? And little by little, it started to re-enter, and it started to become real, and it started to fortify. But the change starts with you. If you decide I am ready for a reboot, I'm aware that something in my life is not working, and my evolution starts today. So tonight's homework is pretty simple, but I'm a teacher by heart, so I'm going to tell you what I told my 5th graders. You get out what you put in. So I started with a little simple task. I know some of you are homeschooling, you're working, you've got a lot going on, okay? And so you might not have time for much. So I wanted to make sure and honor your time. So it will not take long if you do the worksheet just at the level at which it's presented, but do not miss an opportunity to go deeper and journal and work your way through it if you feel called to do that, if you have time to do that. I want you to know that the amount of heart and soul and passion that you put into this, and also I just called it a homework, but you will see that it is actually called a transformational task, because nobody likes homework, okay? So what this is a transformational task, and it's step 1, a little task to begin the transformation process. Now, this is only for those of you who choose to evolve. If you chose repeat, you may skip the transformational task because you would like to keep looping. However, for the rest of you, you will see that tonight's homework is a detailed life audit. So it breaks up your life into 4 quadrants. It's physical health, mental health, social health, and professional health. Just the main 4 groups. And so it's based on a STAR system, and you'll give it from 5 stars being the best down to 1 star being the worst. And you're just gonna rate each category. And that is going to help you get real specific and really think about, I thought my physical health, inconceivable. I thought my physical health was my main problem, but after really thinking about this, I don't know, maybe my mental health is also a bit in jeopardy here. Now, again, go as deep as you would like to really start digging for answers, okay? It's a worksheet that you will see in the units of our Facebook community. And so all of the workbook will be attached inside. You will have access to the worksheets for the entire week. And I will let you know each day in the video which worksheet you will need to complete that day's transformational tasks. So today it's called a detailed life audit, because just like any consultant, if you have someone come into your business and say, hey, things aren't working too well, what can you do to help? The very first thing they're gonna wanna do is kind of give an audit so they can have a big picture view of what needs the most work. And so that is where our reboot process starts. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being in this group and in this community. I am honored to go down your reboot journey with you. I am here for anything that you need. I'm gonna go live in the Facebook group. I'm gonna take questions and comments, And I want you to share. I want you to tell me what your audit is looking like and tell me what your awareness is. I love you all so, so much. Thank you for sharing day 1 with me, and I will see you tomorrow in day 2 of the Reboot Challenge. Bye, everybody.